having thumbs up in Zoom. Thumbs up out. You can all hear me here in the room. Great. Okay, so well, I might start. Is that okay, Joy?
That is fine.
Okay, great. Well, welcome to how to figure out what social platform to be on. So I'm Lisa, if you don't know me, and I have a small business called RetroHex where I love to help businesses get online and create funky brands for them. My real passion is running workshops and courses to teach people how to do it themselves as well. So I do run workshops and online courses. So today we're going to be looking at what socials to be on. So looking at, do I need to be on social media at all? What socials to be on? And tools to make life a little bit easier when you are on social media. And then at the end, we'll have some question and answer time. So throughout the actual session, feel free to ask questions and I'll try and answer them. So, do I have to be on social media? So everyone is on social media. Well, not everyone, but there are about 2.8 billion social media users. And thanks to mobile devices, it's become a habit for people to check in on their social media all throughout the day. People spend on average 2.5 hours a day on socials, so that's a whole lot of time, and it continues to rise every year. Another reason to be on social media is that you have something valuable to offer. So this is extremely important. Whether you sell products, offer services, write a blog, have a YouTube channel, it's important to understand what value you are adding to someone. So what problems are you solving for your customer, client, reader, viewer? If you don't have something to offer that is of value to someone, then what are you going to share on social media, apart from the old selfie, which I'm not a fan of doing myself. So if you have content that is valuable, then you need to be sharing it on social media. If you don't have content that is worth sharing, you need to start creating content that is valuable to your customer. As they say, content is fire and social media is gasoline. So what do I mean by valuable content? When you're looking at your Facebook feed, what things make you stop and look at it and read or watch? Is it a beautiful image that makes you grateful to be alive? Is it content that has inspired you to be a better person? Is it a yummy looking donut that makes you want to get in your car to find the nearest donut shop? Is it a really awesome offer that you can't pass up on because it's going to solve a certain problem that you're having or make your life simpler or more streamlined? So no matter what industry you're in, you really need to think about the content you are adding and if it is of any value to your customer or potential customer. If it isn't, then don't post it, please. We have enough cat videos. So in response to, do I need to be on social media? If you have a business and you want to find new customers, then social media is definitely a good place to hang out on and start engaging with your audience. So what social media platforms should I be on? To figure this out, we first need to understand who your customer target is. Then we need to understand what demographics hang out on what social media platforms. And finally, we need to understand the purpose of each social media platform and why people hang out on each one. So who is your target customer? This is such an important step just to figure out what social media, but not just to figure out what social media platforms hang out on, but to figure out your complete brand. From how you communicate to your customer in person and online, from what words you use, how you say it, what your brand looks like, your logo, your colors, your fonts, images that you use. But since we're just looking at social media today, if you know and understand your target customer, it will help you figure out what social media platforms they are hanging out on, and therefore where you should be spending your time, building your presence and engaging with your audience. So I've handed out like a printout. This is a customer avatar that I created a while back, but I thought it would help you, and you can have a go at filling that out. So at the end of the session, if you have time, I'll get you to go through that and fill that out. So once you figure out your target customer, the next thing you need to figure out is what demographics hang out on each social media platform. So understanding who hangs out where is super important in figuring out where you should hang out. Just imagine your business is all about selling amazing tour packages to grey nomads, so people retiring in their 60s and 70s. You decide to spend a load of money advertising and posting content on Instagram because it's a great place to show images of all the amazing places you go visit on your tours. You might start to wonder why you're not getting any traction, and the reason is only 8% of that demographic uses Instagram, whereas over 65% of people in that group are on Facebook. Another example, you have a range of natural makeup and you want to show young girls how to do their makeup so it looks fresh and natural. And since you love LinkedIn, because you follow all of the big companies, you decide to post your content on LinkedIn, not realizing that no one in your target market hangs out on LinkedIn. They're on Snapchat or Instagram. So I found these great infographics that breaks down the demographic of each platform. So we're going to look at these platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Snapchat, and Pinterest, and go through them using these infographics. So the demographics on Facebook. So 2 billion are actively using it a month. The highest demographic is actually 18 to 29-year-olds, but there's a huge demographic over the 65 as well, with 62%. There's also a breakdown of the income there. So 84% earn over $30,000 a year, 77% over $75,000 a year. So Facebook is known for a great network where millennials and Generation X are likely to share content. But in the general world, it's also a good platform for people over the age of 60. And that's increasing as well rapidly.
What age group is Gen X?
Gen X is your under the baby boom. Yeah. So it is, yeah.
So
40s. It's 40s. And you can even look at the breakdown of who's using it from desktop point of view and from mobile point of view. So making sure that your content is always mobile friendly when you're posting on Facebook. The next one is the demographics on Instagram. So 80 million active users. I read somewhere that there was, I think there was 400 million daily active users. So that's a lot on a daily basis. So the age demographic again is quite large in the 18 to 29-year-olds. So 60% there. And as you can see, only 8% over the age of 65. So if your target market isn't in that younger demographics, I wouldn't be posting on the Instagram platform. Also, majority of the demographics, well, a lot of women are on Instagram as well. You can also see the time spent, and this actually shocked me. So there's this, I've found a lot of research. Some said 2.5 hours a day people spend on Facebook. This infographic is saying 35 minutes average.
So that's an average. So some people
I know.
only check
The average was like 2.5 hours.
So I'm getting all these
Different stats. So if you can think about how much time you spend on Facebook and then calculate it, you know, we're pretty average people, aren't we?
It'd be interesting what that figure was if you took the top 5% of Facebook users off.
Yeah, people that use it for business or whatever.
Yeah,
Like top 5%.
All of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's right. LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is a platform for a lot of professionals and job sharing, which we'll look at a bit later about this platform. So the age again there is quite even between the 18 to 29 and 30 to 49 demographic there. So the income's a lot higher in the LinkedIn platform. So if you're wanting to sell a more expensive product or target to a more higher income, then LinkedIn's that platform. Pretty even, In regards to the gender, an average time spent on there is a lot less than Facebook. Also, Instagram back was less time as well compared to Facebook. So it seems like people are just constantly checking their Facebook feeds. Now, Twitter's an interesting one. The percentage is a lot less on Twitter, so you're getting a lot more users on Instagram and Facebook, but obviously there's only 317 million active users on Twitter, so it's not as many. What was that?
Only.
Yeah,
I think that's not many people.
I know, it's so funny though when you see 2 billion
Yeah.
compared to only 300 million.
We'll use the word comparatively.
Yeah. Exactly. They're rich. So similar to LinkedIn, the average income is a little bit higher as well on Twitter. And the gender is definitely, I think, a little bit higher on Twitter regarding males, the male demographic, compared to the female demographic on Twitter. But look at the time spent on Twitter. It's not much time, is it? 2.7 minutes per day. That's
day?
pretty neat session. Per day, on average.
Yeah.
Twitter's
People don't go on Twitter every day.
No, I'm not on there every day. I'm on there once a month posting something for campus. I mean, once a week posting.
Yeah.
and the time you spend posts on Twitter is a lot quicker than it would be on
Yeah,
Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah. And
Because it's short.
Yeah, and when you're reading stuff, you can read it quickly, you can scroll a bit through it. Yeah, true. And then you don't have the same focus as video as the other platforms.
Yeah.
What's the limitation from Twitter?
280 characters.
Yeah.
But we'll look at that a bit later around the purpose and function.
Sorry.
So yeah, demographic male, a little bit more, got more money to spend maybe, but less time on there. So maybe not seeing what you're posting. Pinterest. So Pinterest is something I don't think people think about with social media, but actually it's quite a good platform to be on. And again, we'll look at the function and purpose a bit later. But demographic-wise, it's very similar to Instagram. So your females between the age of 18 to 29, 30 to 49. So the over 65 market is 16%. So it's actually quite a good market as well in 65 and over. So there's a lot of people on there doing up crafting, but we'll look at that again later with the purpose of the platform. Big female demographic on there, they're spending quite a bit of time on Pinterest. And yeah, the desktop and the mobile as well, making sure all your content is mobile friendly. Now Snapchat, we all know that Snapchat is targeted at teens. I mean, I don't hang out on it. I tried it once and I was like, but it's actually one of the best platforms to market to teens. So if your demographic is teens, it's definitely something that you should be thinking about learning how to use Snapchat. And maybe we'll have another session soon at lunchtime on how to use Snapchat, because I know it's a learning curve, which it is. Yeah.
Obviously, that teams are difficult to market to the best of times.
Well, they're not always the ones with the money. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, 65 and over will probably have money because they're already retired.
You can't target on Snapchat.
No, creating audiences. But the average time is quite large, so we're definitely engaged at sharing lots of content with each other, and females is a large population there. So just a quick snapshot of demographics. Another social media platform that I didn't have on the banner is YouTube. So YouTube is the third highest ranking website viewed in the world, so Google, Facebook, then YouTube, and it's a massive amount of time people spend on there. So 40 minutes, so it's the biggest amount of time someone spends anywhere, and the demographic is huge for male demographic. So the age range, again, not really the younger demographic as much, but more that middle age sort of area. If you have a male product, that's where you should be hanging out. So over here on the right, you can sort of see the industries and where you should be hanging out. So retail, media, sport. I'm not sure what CBG is. Does anyone know what CBG is?
games.
Oh, maybe. Yep. Financial, automated, healthcare. So best place to be for teens, Instagram and Snapchat. Best place for millennials, Facebook and Instagram. Best place to reach males is YouTube. That's just a quick overview of some demographics. And once you figure out your customer target, So you're figuring out if they're male or female, how old they are, then that can actually help you figure out and nut down which platform you should be on. So what is the purpose of each platform? So I found this cute little comical. I love these little comical illustrations, and I love vintage things. So if you look at it, you can see how each social media relates to what we used to do. So Pinterest is like mood boarding. YouTube is just like watching the day go by. You've got Facebook here, so all your contact lists. Actually, like the WordPress, because I'm a WordPress user, so blogging.
Twitter's posted that.
So Twitter's posters, no, it's just like here. Instagram's like the pictures. And LinkedIn is your
Rolodex?
yeah, Rolodexy thingy. So it's cute. One thing that's not up there is Snapchat. So I thought maybe Snapchat is like the passing of a rainbow. So it only lasts 5 seconds and it's gone from your life. So that's my little addition on what Snapchat is like. Although to me it's not a rainbow. I actually like rainbows, but to teens, it's like a rainbow. So let's have a brief look at each social platform and what they're predominantly used for. So Facebook. So Facebook initially was used for connecting with others on university campus. Obviously now it has many more uses, but predominantly it still remains a sharing platform to share everything and anything. For business, it can be quite hard it's quite to sort of reach a large audience due to the algorithms that Facebook now have. So you often have to have a bit of a marketing budget to reach a large audience. The good thing, however, with Facebook is that you can create an audience to target in on. So that's quite a good thing. So Facebook, as we mentioned before, it's great for targeting baby boomers and Generation X and Y because they're generally most engaged on this platform, and the average age of users is much higher on Facebook than other social media platforms. So there's this overarching rumour that goes around that people under the age of 18 aren't on Facebook because their parents are on Facebook. So there's this shift from Facebook to other social media platforms such as Instagram and Snapchat. But according to all the research that I looked at, the younger people are still on there and they're still engaging quite heavily. Yes.
Facebook released an app for under 30. What impact do you think that will have?
Wow. For under 13.
It has, I think.
For under the 13.
And no exclude you if you're over 13.
Well, yeah, so, and it's very limited, parents have control.
So you have to have like a parent login?
I think so.
How do you get around all people getting on?
I don't know.
Yeah, so obviously,
myself, but I find it very interesting their targeting.
Yeah, so obviously Facebook are realising this is happening. So they're listening to what's going on. They're looking at Snapchat. They're looking at Instagram. So Instagram is actually quite on par with Snapchat in what they're offering, like stories, which we'll cover a bit later. So maybe Facebook owns Instagram, but maybe Facebook is realising they still want to be.
It's like the Commonwealth Bank doing Dolmarts in schools.
Yeah, exactly.
Kids don't have any money now, but when they're 18, we're going to
Yeah, get them in.
application.
Yeah, so once they're in, they're going to stuff on the platform, aren't they? Especially if all their friends are
I turned 18 and I left.
there. Yeah. Yeah, so I think the social media platforms you pick the one. So we had Facebook delivered to us, right? We jumped on and then we started connecting. We're all connecting. We're like, oh, I don't want to go on another one, another social media. All my friends are already here. I'm already sharing events. I'm already sharing everything on Facebook. Why bother move? So Facebook's obviously realizing they're jumping on Snapchat first, maybe. And then once they're on Snapchat, maybe they're moving across to another platform as well. So maybe they're saying, well, let's introduce this platform for 13-year-olds so that they're stuck, or their friends, and they don't want to go anywhere else.
And it was like a messenger thing, so is what it said. So like parents still see what's happening, but it's a messenger for under.
It's not Facebook, so it's only the messaging system.
Yeah, that's what it says. Messenger kids as well. That's it was in the US.
Chance our parents will have to authenticate the friends that are on the list.
Yeah, I imagine. So if you text and video chat through the
Yeah.
And you can add, parents will do something.
Yeah, that's good. So their parents are able to monitor. So they're listening that parents are worried about their children. So we recently did Star Weekend here, and one of the things was YouTube. Parents are worried about their kids being on YouTube. So we actually realised after the event, YouTube is bringing out or has just brought out a child-friendly YouTube channel. So parents can sign in, they can monitor everything, set limits, security.
That's YouTube Kids.
Yes,
Yeah.
YouTube Kids, Joy. The solution was solved. Yeah. Yes. So that's Facebook. So Twitter is a platform to keep you up to date with current news and events happening. So obviously everything around Twitter is all about Trump, the news, the controversies, celebrities, it's this constant updating of news and current events, and it has the max of 280 characters. So it's nice and short and sweet. So you're not getting bombarded by you are getting bombarded by lots of content, but the stuff that you read is quite short. So Twitter's a great place to respond to your customers directly, and a lot of industry find that's quite a useful platform for communicating with customers, even if it's negative comments. And it's a great place to engage with other industry leaders. So if you're business to business, this is where you want to be hanging out. So Instagram is used for sharing photos, and now you can share videos. It's great for any industry that has something visually pleasing to look at, such as travel, fashion, beauty, food, home and interiors. If you're really good looking, if you're a celebrity, if you like to get in a bikini, if you like to run on the beach, if you're a fitness instructor and your body looks amazingly toned. These are all the things that you're going to find on Instagram and seem to work
Or if
well.
you have a dog or cat.
Yes. That's really, really adorable.
Not ugly.
Or strange.
Or
Or can do something that's like tricks.
like it can skateboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like sports people, like they're not necessarily famous sports people, but like they can do fancy things with a tennis ball and they
like
nice
CrossFit.
little trick things.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or something, whatever. So lifestyle topics perform the best on Instagram, especially if your target audience is women between the ages of 16 to 40 years of age. So LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is a platform for professionals to connect and network. It's a place to find a job and showcase all of your skills. So is anyone here on LinkedIn? How often do you update your profiles?
She loves it.
You rock it. You rock it. Yes.
LinkedIn's been amazing.
Yeah.
For me, like since I left the government, I followers, quadruple followers, but I think more than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I updated my LinkedIn profile.
Yeah. Are you adding
Content.
Yeah.
So there's every day I post on LinkedIn. LinkedIn's my jam. I have a Facebook.
Finally, someone else who likes it.
I love it because you don't get the shit like on Facebook and stuff, and I
And
don't.
you get inspired.
Yeah, and there's other.
Hear from all these people going, this is how to do something awesome.
And there seems to be a more positive vibe. Like, even if, someone doesn't agree with, your thing or whatever, they'll add constructive thoughts because they're professionals and they'll go, oh, that's really great, but how about this, and this, where we were having this conversation point, but then on Facebook, you just get, oh, that shit.
Okay,
So-
so I read a comment where somebody said, that's like everything else I said.
Yes. It's a tricky
Do
one.
you pay for LinkedIn or?
I just paid.
Trial.
I'm in the trial at the moment. So
You can get the trial once per year. I've done it for the last 4 years. Once a year.
That's so great. I've got to try that.
So yeah, LinkedIn's been for you. But I
So is it where your customer then
So I'm an engineer, so yeah.
Yep.
And even the podcast, like I get much more engagement with it, but that's what where I've been focusing.
So we got any guests?
That's where I get a lot of guests because my podcast is on this.
Did you just sort of fall into figuring out that LinkedIn is actually where my target customer is? Or did you sit down and write down all your custom avatars? Oh, look at this question, here's something like that. So it's just trial and error.
Yeah, and also personally I prefer to be on LinkedIn. It took a while, when I first had a profile and when I went for the government, I was very careful not to post anything. I just connected with some people. Now you kind of use it as an online business card as well. I don't know if it's what's your LinkedIn, I'll add you. And I used to not accept everybody, but now I do unless it's spammy.
Yeah.
You find that out pretty quickly because it's in the message. Single question mark.
Yeah.
Blocked, but yeah, whereas Facebook, I won't add people because I mean I have the Facebook page, but it's a bit different.
Yeah, so LinkedIn, professionals to connect and great for business to business. It's like Roy was saying. And then Snapchat. And demographic wise, we did look at that a little bit before. So generally the older is a bit more target. So 30 and professional age group.
But I think there's more.
Yeah.
Younger.
The slide said 18 to 25.
That was quite large.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And now with entrepreneurs, like
Yes.
lots of young startups and I found are on there, but it's still not teens, but it's like 18.
It's like the startup Twitter and startup like LinkedIn. So it seems like startups are connecting with other startups on LinkedIn,
Yes.
and then they're following startup leaders on Twitter. So those
Well,
industry leaders.
I made a LinkedIn when I graduated from uni, so that I can have
Gee, you're
something to put on there for people, when they Google me, came up before Facebook page, and then I didn't look at it again until this year, and so it was like, it's good.
And first year university students now are told to confront that.
Yeah.
And it really is.
Potential employees.
Exactly.
Yeah. What about teachers? Are teachers hanging out on LinkedIn?
No, they usually will have a profile, but again, they'll set it up and they'll look looking for their first teaching job, and then they don't touch it again.
So if they're unemployed and then
promotion.
They very active on social media also.
They're on there, but
Social.
the privacy sections will, privacy.
Yeah.
Lockdown.
Yeah.
Absolute lockdown. You have to.
Same for police and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So Snapchat, so it's a platform where users can share photos and videos in real time to give them a live perspective of what they're actually doing at the moment. So the content disappears after it's viewed or it's added to their user's story and it stays on there for 24 hours. So Instagram has just put out something similar to stories where you can take photos and leave it, store it on your stories, put it in your highlights, all those sorts of things. It's considered the best way to reach the teens. So if your target market is millennials and Generation Z, and then the one under that. So the 13. I don't know.
I don't know what they call it. What comes after that?
Hey.
Well, what's Generation Z?
I think
It's what age group?
So like the teens.
You know, now.
Through to about 20, 21.
Gen Y and millennials.
What's older than baby boomers?
Older than baby boomers.
I mean, apart from me.
There is a word for it.
Are you a baby? You're not a baby boomer?
No, I was wrong.
Oh,
How old? Can you whisper how old you are?
No, I've been asking for, I'm 75.
I think that's baby boomer.
No, it's
No, it's
not.
not.
My dad.
No, I was a war baby.
Oh, you're a war baby.
9 months after peace, that was part of the baby boomers, or some, when they could see what's happening, some will no, just below me, about 73.
Yeah, because my dad's 72 and he's a baby.
The silent generation.
Oh.
1945 to 19.
The silent generation, if you're over 70, you're
before your time. I know you tried before. So I'm a silent generation.
what a contrast, huh?
They sometimes have different names. So
And
Generation
where-
Y, that's like-
What platform are you hanging out on, just socially, if any?
Well, I've done nothing with LinkedIn, but I'm on it.
Yep.
I've done nothing with Instagram, but I'm sort of on it.
Yep.
I'm on Facebook to my mates. So that's
Okay,
all.
so you're on Facebook socially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm the dodo. I'm trying to get there.
What's your target?
This one also calls you traditionalists.
Oh,
Yeah.
And the new ones, the younger ones, are centennials.
Oh, Centennials, Gen Zen, I've heard Gen Zen.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
96 and younger, which is 22 and younger, are centennials. Millennials are born from 1977 to 1995.
Yeah, I'm on that.
So I'm actually
Millennium was part of
on the very end of Gen X. Millennials are 1977 to 1995. It's millennials or Gen Y, so that crosses over.
yeah.
But then either Gen Z, iGen, or Centennials are 1996 to now.
Do you reckon you could write those into the Zoom?
Yeah. Baby boomers 1946 to 1964. Yeah. If you were born before 1945, you're a traditionalist.
What's the one that's sort of from 64 to 77?
65 to 77 Gen X.
Oh, Gen X. That's what my kids
So I
are.
just assume they're baby.
On Snapchat,
Yes.
I think a growing demographic because my boyfriend's on Snapchat and he just talks to his friends on Snapchat now instead of texting or whatever. Like and videos, like they just go, oh hey, how you going? And,
Yeah.
you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas I had Snapchat very early on and then I got rid of it since I was just like, I don't know this thing. But then it just like
take pictures and put random reindeers.
yeah,
But yes, it's huge. The boy between that age group. So it's booming in that age group. So teens up until 35, 40, they're saying.
and they kind of like they go, oh look at this motor. And send it to them. They go, oh that's cool, mate, you know whatever. Like
I worked
yeah,
on
just
Snapchat, and on Snapchat.
But it is sort of amazing what happens. My nephew was killed in a road accident, and a few years ago now. And my brother, didn't realise what a network he had. He was sort of great mates with a guy who flew out from Hong Kong.
Oh wow! Because they connected online.
Something. He was into motors and cars. Yeah, all that sort of thing. And but there was just such. I've never been to a funeral where there were so many young ones and in suits that they obviously wore.
Yeah.
And yet they all had that I'd say that was their friendship.
Yeah.
Motors at school.
But they never probably connected in real life. It was all online.
Yeah, but it was all on the, he disappeared at night. He was still living at home and, 25 or whatever it was. And he just disappeared at night. And he had just these literary friends all around the world. Because to start off with, it was expected to be a small funeral. And there was 200 young blokes there. Wow. It was just absolutely amazing. And it was all these connections.
Yeah. But back in the old days, your parents would know who your friends were. Because they're in mid-school or in your house. But now that's.
Part of your place, they came.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If something like that happened, even with locally, you might not find out until weeks after the funeral.
I know.
What happened was
Yeah, well, so all his mates that were close all put it on, and it just sort of connected through that way. And as I said, there was one guy, flew out from Hong Kong because there was just such mates on social media.
All right. So Pinterest. So just like Instagram pictures, Pinterest is all about the visuals. So Pinterest uses engaging interactive content on the platform by uploading their pins, they're called, and pinning content from a website they love or repinning content that is already on the platform. So just think of it like a mood board. You're collecting yours, you're doing a cutout from your magazine and sticking on board. This is like an online version. You're collecting it from the websites or from something that you've seen on Pinterest and you're putting it onto your board online. So it's a great platform for discovering and sharing, saving content to create scenes around colour or what kitchen designs you like or what logo designs you like, including a logo or website, all those sorts of things. So I use it quite a lot for clients. So they will add the content that they like. We'll look at a bunch of little reports that I've created for them. Just help me designs they like.
I do tattoos.
Yeah.
Very easy to like everything. Whereas when you look like in images, you get things people have certain tattoos. Whereas on Pinterest, it's
Yeah. So a client can verbally say what they want to make, but then when they actually go on pin things, it's like, that's quite different. So it's a really good reference for me. So if you're in the lifestyle industry, if you're in design, all those sorts of things, it performs well because people are looking at how to do things for yourself, all those sorts of things. Again, same sort of demographic as Instagram. So which one should you be on? So my advice is to pick one and to start with there with a max of 2 of these if it's a winner. Not to say that you can't be on the others socially, but for your business, I think it's really important to pick 1 or 2 that you can really focus on initially.
I limit myself to
Yeah. I can't believe there's even 10. I might list 6. I know there's heaps. I don't want to know about them.
40 in English that are really have Australians on them.
And how you pick it, you need to understand who your your customer target is, what their demographics are, and where they're hanging out. And that's a really good point to figure out where you want to be. So if you're a home decor business that target women 20 to 40, pick Instagram and Pinterest. They're the visual things, and that's where they're hanging out to get inspiration. If you have a fashion label for teens, get on Snapchat and Instagram. If you have an accounting firm that targets medium-sized businesses, get on LinkedIn and Facebook. And if you're a software as a service, things like LinkedIn and Twitter are really good. Ellen?
So I've heard that even though, like let's say the home decor business, you should be on Instagram and Pinterest, visuals, and that's where 20 to 40 would be on. But you should still have a Facebook presence.
Yeah.
No matter where everybody should have a Facebook presence as a Facebook page or a business page. Yeah. Because of the advertising potential, even though you may spend so little time and so little focus on there. Yeah. Because all you're really focusing and doing well, your Pinterest and your Instagram, because that's your demographic. But you should have a Facebook campaign.
Yeah, it's like you should have a website, you should have a Facebook page. So those sort of things come hand in hand. People want to know more information about you. So when they go to, say they see you on Instagram, they see you on Pinterest, they're going to go to your website or they're going to go to your Facebook page. So yes, Facebook is one of those sort of stock standard. You generally need to have a Facebook page.
In relation to that,
yes.
I do find it interesting Bunnings doesn't have a Facebook page.
Yeah.
And YouTube a lot instead.
Yeah. So it really comes down to where you're going to, like, it's about where you spend your time. So if you, like for me, Facebook, my target is actually Instagram and Pinterest, right? I'm only just really making an effort for those. And Facebook is where I've been. Facebook's really good for when I have events, you know, so it's different. So you might have different products that have reaching different audiences. So Facebook's really good for events and workshops and creating all those things and sharing all those things. But again, you need a bit of a marketing budget to get across.
But also it's useful if you sort of go, I don't have a marketing budget now, and I don't envision having a marketing budget for a year, but you need to kind of have a bit of history on Facebook. Yes, started. So even if you don't have a marketing budget, you should be there. Yeah. Even if you're only logging once a week and 3 posts up to schedule out and it's then ignore it. Yeah. Yeah. But just to have
another good thing about Facebook is the ability to join groups of industry that you're involved in. So then you can be sharing your events and workshops and all those sorts of things. So when someone comes to me and says, you know, I want to have a website built, they can't afford a website, or they can't be bothered to learn, or they don't have time to learn, I just say, you know, put up a Facebook page, because something at least someone can go to.
You can sell on Facebook.
Yeah. Well, you need to have a link out to the shop, but that's coming. I think it's in the US. In the US it's functioning, and Australia not quite yet. Yeah. So that will revolutionize everything. Yes. Just looking at the time, I was going to go through some scheduling tools.
Can I just ask a question about Facebook? So you actually have 2 Facebook things. You've got one for your social chat to your mates.
Yes.
And you've got a business.
That's profile page. Yeah, so you'll have your own personal profile, and then you'll have a business page set up on that.
Are they linked across? They're not totally different.
They're linked across as in you are the admin that runs the business page, but people who are on your business page won't see any of your personal or anything like that.
Right. But you have to have, somebody has to have a profile to set up that.
Yeah, so you have your social profile, right? So you can then create a business page, on there.
So we will be running some more digital literacy workshops later in the year, and one of them will be on setting up a business Facebook page. So if you haven't done it by then, you can do it then.
And that's something I offer. I do consults, so I can sit down and walk through with you as well. So now that you've chosen one or two, let's look at making the process of posting your content a little bit easier by setting out plan and scheduling. So social media marketing can take up a lot of time. So allocating time to work on your posts instead of just doing it here and there can definitely help your brain cope, unless you're Susanna. She's a phenomenal machine.
You say 3 days now, Google Plus is
What's that?
gone.
Yeah.
You say 3 days.
Is Google Plus gone?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but-
Wow.
Thanks.
I just took that off the website. So replace that with something else. Although only if you only have two, you can have. Or you can leave days out. Yeah.
We should put more YouTube in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so set a amount of time to work on it each week and get 5, 10, 20, 30 posts done at one stage. These can then be scheduled to post every day or every second day, depending on how many posts you have. And then you can go in and add spontaneous photos. So you'll have your scheduled posts, say that come out on Monday and Wednesday at a certain time, 5 p.m. or 9 p.m. in the morning. And then throughout the week, on those other days, you might be out visiting a client. You know, you want to take a picture and share that, so you can do that spontaneously and share it. So the whole concept of scheduling, just make sure that you've got something regularly going up, and it can take that burden off a little bit. So how to schedule? So you could get a calendar just for social media and write down on each day what you want to post. So on the back of that customer avatar, I've just put a November calendar on there, so you can have a go at writing that down once a week. And you can relate the posts to relevant events that are happening throughout that time of the year. So for example, Christmas is coming up, so in your December one, or at the end of November, you might start posting things regarding Christmas, especially if you're selling products. Well, you probably actually should have started that 3 months ago.
Right after Easter.
And right now you're starting.
So during that allocated time that you set, say you set 3 hours a week on social media at 8 p.m. till 11 p.m. because you obviously working during the day with your clients and getting products and these things, so you're setting aside this other time unless you're really super awesome and you can do it during the day. I haven't worked that out yet. I'll get there. Hey?
Or you work at night.
Yeah, we'll work on it. And during that time, you can set out that list on your calendar. So make it really simple. So something that I do, or I've just started doing, is I actually write down what content I'm sharing quite briefly. So I have design content, I have sales content. So that could be an event that's coming up, or a product or a service I'm wanting to sell. And what was the other thing? That was it. No, design, sales, and inspiration, so a quote or something. So they're the 3 things I use, and I schedule them out. So obviously I have a few designs, and then a few quotes or inspiration, and then sales in between. So you don't want to bombard people with sales all the time. And making sure it's always valuable to your customer. So when you're creating this post, think about, well, what value is that adding to my customer or potential customer? So for me, posting a design, so a logo I've done or a website I've done, that's showing a potential customer of my capabilities and hopefully, connecting that way. So during that allocated time, write down, make it as simple as possible. And then during that time, also you start creating those posts. So creating the first 5 posts, whatever that looks like. So for me, it can be a little bit complicated because I'm designing something. Some others might have to be styling products on a table to take photos. Some others might just be taking a picture of themselves doing a yoga pose. So it does take quite time creating these posts. So making sure that during those 3 hours you are setting aside time to create those posts, whatever they may look like. So this is an example of what I've started doing for my Instagram. So this is in a tool called Photoshop in Adobe. And I'm trying, so Instagram is really around branding. And because I'm creating other people's brands, I'm like, how do I make it still be my brand while I'm showing other people's brands? So I was trying to play around with design. So this is something I've come up with recently. So Say again?
A puzzle feed.
Yes. So the concept of a design, a quote or a sale, a design, this is going to be an event, so I'm doing an Instagram event, design, that sort of concept. So you don't have to have software, there's things called Canva, where you can actually create these posts of what they actually look like, or you can literally just hold them on a piece of paper of what you would like that post to look like, or that content you want to have on there. Yeah, so if you look back at my previous Instagram, you can see it's just literally like a logo.
So just remember, if you want it to look like that, you've got to post 3 at a time.
Better design.
Yeah. Or you schedule it.
Yeah, you schedule.
Yeah, but if you only post one, everything moves out of alignment.
Which I'm okay with.
Yeah, depending on what you do. If you've got, like, sometimes we'll put a landscape photo and then you've got 3 in a row, and as soon as you then post one, everything else goes out of alignment. So we use it finally to just see how does it look, and you can see what your previous posts were as well. Make sure you don't mark anything up.
So talking about plan, there's a few apps out there. So probably the best, well, the most well-known ones are called Hootsuite and Buffer. And then there's other ones. So Facebook has its own scheduling, which is actually really good, and it's probably the best one to use for Facebook. And Plan is one for Instagram. So like Joe was saying, you can actually see what it's going to look like as it pops it in to each section. So you can search it if you want to finally. Okay, just saying. So, but you can see what it will look like and get a log out.
I use later. Pretty good as well.
Cool. But Instagram? Yeah.
Does it post them for you now? Like schedule the post and post it?
Although that just not working. But yeah, was doing that.
So Hootsuite is only free for 30 days, so it's a trial, and that's $30 a month.
No, that's not true.
No,
There is a free option, and it's really hard to find on the website, but there is one. We've been using it for months. And
You're limited to
30
30
posts
now,
at a
which is
time.
really unfair.
But it's not 30 posts per month. It's 30 posts at a time. So if you want to schedule 30 tweets in a row to go upstage tomorrow, just get back in on first, 3 days later.
I want to schedule for like 6 months.
Yeah, so we're going to do that on Hootsuite. But there is
so you use Hootsuite?
I've used it for the last few years for different things, and I've been so annoyed because they've limited it. Used to be, you could only limited what the accounts, so you could only connect 3 accounts.
Yes, 3 accounts.
Unlimited scheduling, and then they limited it.
But if you're only on 2, it's okay.
Yeah.
So that's free.
Yeah. But 30 posts. I mean, I just sort of do it once a week.
Yeah, great.
But
Yeah, great. So Hootsuite, as you were saying, up to 3 posts, you can schedule up to 30 posts. I'm sure I haven't looked really hard. They don't like it must be hidden.
It is hidden
for
on
free.
purpose.
Okay. Yeah.
We haven't paid. I hunted and
And you've been using it for more than 30 days.
like
I don't pay for anything.
No,
I like
neither
it
do I.
lots and sweet, so yeah.
The only thing, it doesn't post pictures.
It does.
It's one of the downfalls. Not on the freebie. Only on the
Maybe
page.
you do something else.
And then Buffer, you can have a free account for life. So I love Buffer. I've only just started playing with it because I found I better start having a feel with these ones. Again, you can have 3 platforms. You can only skip up 10 posts. Free one. You can post images directly to Instagram, but if you have videos, you can't post directly, but it will remind you when you post it. And I actually quite like their user interface, like it's quite simple. So basically,
because Hootsuite's pretty full on.
So Hootsuite, the interface is not as designer friendly or simple quite, but Buffer, you literally just click on your profile, so your Facebook or your Instagram, and it brings up with the post now. So you can add it, and then it's stored there and schedule it for later.
I'll just share that link to the free.
Cool.
So Lisa, which one of those do you consider the best? Would be
So Hootsuite is really good if you have a team. So usually if you employ people, it's a really good one because you're having to pay generally for some sort of a subscription. So usually it's for a bigger size company. You can post more, you can do a lot more in Hootsuite. And then Buffer is probably good for sole trader or employees. The small scale when you're starting up.
But if you're only on Facebook, you don't actually need.
Yeah, so if you're on Facebook, Facebook has its own scheduling, and that's what I would recommend using the actual scheduling on Facebook. So you can go in and create all your posts, as many as you want.
Yeah, I think 6 months in advance. I think it cuts a lot.
I mean, that's pretty good.
We only go through 6 months.
I've never reached that.
Yeah.
And then you can set your time, your day. You know, you can trial out the same sort of post, different image at a different time to see which one gets more traction. Yeah.
So if you want to put photos up and put posts and things like that, you can do that through Canva, is that right?
No, so well, Canva's got a new thing that you can create posts just for LinkedIn, or is it for other
It's
things?
going to be for other things.
Yeah. So potentially, yes.
And you can create them there, download them, and just upload them to your social like Facebook
Or
and
if you put your
schedule.
own photos.
Yeah, so you can upload your photos into Canva, right? Create the right size. So every social media platform has a different size for their post. So Instagram is on 1080 times 1080. Facebook's 1200 by 600, whatever they are. So in Canva, you can have those templated created. Canva actually has templates for each. So Facebook post, Instagram post, so you can just choose their template. And then you can upload your image, move it into that template, and then add, if you want any text on it or anything like that. You can add different filters. So with filters, if you're going to use a filter, make sure you use that filter across your entire brand, because otherwise all your images will look bigger. Different, yeah. And then, yeah, maybe in the future you'll be able to just do it all from Canva. I wouldn't be surprised because they're pretty amazing, Canva. The only thing that I haven't seen on Canva is the ability to have art boards, so the canvas is next to each other so you can see how it looks on Instagram.
But the way I got around that is there are templates for like grids,
Yeah,
and I just use that, and then I would have to crop, like I would get a grid that had 9 photos, and I had to like make 9 duplicates and crop each of them, which is amazing.
You're amazing. Do you do social media management, Ellen?
Yeah.
I think if you want a social media, you should be
But it's difficult.
Yeah.
We all have different steps.
So I do designing, so I can design posts and do the whole layout sort of concept for people, but I don't actually manage them. That's a whole nother kettle. I probably should anyway. Yes, so they're sort of the top ones. But again, if you're just on Facebook, it's good to just use the Facebook scheduling. So now that you know what platform, so do you have a general idea on what platform you should be on? And if you don't, please ask me now if you would like feedback, or come and speak to me after. Yep, anyone from Zoom? Yeah, anyone from Zoom who wants me to help figure out where you should be hanging out or what platform, or if you have figured out, type in which those 2 platforms you should be hanging out on, because now you sort of understand, well, you haven't really done the demographic yet, but you maybe in your head you've been doing it. And yeah, after this talk, you've figured out where you should be. And then the next thing is, once you've created a post, is to start engaging with your audience, because without that, it's quite useless being on social media. So engagement is actually the best way to increase your reach on any social media platform, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. If you're engaging with your audience, you know, you're connecting and you potentially have a new lead there.
Do you just want to tell people what you mean by engagement?
Sure. Yeah. So when you post a image or you post a comment, whatever it is that you're posting on there, and someone responds, and they may say, you know, that looks great, or that event looks really interesting, it's really important that you respond to those comments. So say, hey, it's so great to see you. Thanks for making that comment. Yes, this event's coming up. If you'd like some more information, email me or ring me. And also on Facebook, you can go in and invite them to like your page. So if they haven't liked your page already, it's a good way to get more likes and more engagement that way. So yeah, starting that conversation.
Commenting on other people's posts.
Yes.
To get them to come back to you.
Yeah, so on Instagram, Facebook, And Twitter, yeah, on all of them. You can actually go in, so you see something that you like, or maybe you have like a potential customer in mind and you're following them. So say I want to do websites for restaurants. I might start following a lot of restaurants in Toowoomba, and then I'll go in and start commenting, so I'm getting that engagement already, so they start to know who I am. Then I'll be like, you know what, you guys, I've noticed you don't have a website, you know, I'm doing these templates up that are really focused at restaurants with menus, and I am doing that, so if anyone has a restaurant. And I'll be like, you know, this is a really easy way to get in and have a website done. So that's sort of concept of doing it that way. And also you can at people on Facebook and Instagram as well. So if you're mentioning someone, so I posted something because I really always want to get Elon Musk's attention, so I'm always adding Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, look at this new designer.
But he never engages with me. He's not engaging with me.
So keep going.
Yeah.
Now, I was told that I should follow other jewelers because I pick up other people, so that's correct.
Yeah, so it's really important, this whole collaboration, not competition. So for me as a designer, I follow other designers, not just for inspiration. And I'm like, gosh, they're amazing, I'm so proud as well. So it's like self-esteem. But if they have a client who needs, say for example, I have a client who needs some illustration done. If I'm following an illustrator, I can go to them and say, look, I need some illustration done, I'm not very good at that. Would you want to collaborate on that? So same for you in jewelry. It might bring up, like someone wants a specific piece and they need resin, or no, what is it? Enamel,
Yeah.
jewelry. Then they'll be like, I know someone who does enamel, let's collaborate on that piece.
Also, just answering real quick this question, it's like sometimes I'll ask a question or a comment. If you're really helpful, then people will go, oh, this person they know what they're talking about, they're really helpful, they're providing good information. Who are they? Yeah, and then they come check you out.
Yeah.
And
Just answering, not
not selling anything,
No.
not even
Just being
suggesting
really
selling, just being helpful.
And also being involved in groups, so industry jewelry groups as well. So, you know, although maybe that's a tricky one because you want to be where your customers are hanging out. So for me, you know, being involved in women entrepreneurs, you know, helping mums with, you know, how to build a website. If they can't afford a website, you know, I can sit down and teach you how to do it, or you can do an online course, or they just have like a simple question, I can't get this working on my WordPress site, how to do it? Yeah, say do it. Like just giving a bit as well, and groups that you're involved in, not just being on a group to constantly post sale things, but actually engaging.
If you can tolerate it though, being on the pages of famous people who, you know, if you're regularly commenting on their things, you can tolerate the stuff that they post and their audience, you know, if you can get someone famous to then admire your work, buy your work, wear your work, and post about it, then that is what can ramp things up significantly. Yeah, so it's like a lady from Sydney who got some pillowcases on Kardashian's bed. Yeah. And she posted about them and tagged it. Yeah. And now she has a very good business on some pillowcases. Yeah. So, but it took her like a long time, 2 years to get that, and lots of effort, like pushing boundaries everywhere and lots of conversation to do it. But she did it, that was her goal, so she wanted and she did it. Yeah. So.
Any questions or comments from Zoom? And any questions now? So that's pretty much the end.
Thank you, Lisa. So, thank you. If anyone's got questions online, they can just ask. We can't hear you if you're online, so if you just type them in the chat, that would be
So
good.
much from Judy.
No worries, Judy. Thanks for joining.
So I see some people will, you'll see on Facebook, where they post something and it goes to Twitter or it goes to
Yes.
Instagram, they just spam everything.
Yeah.
Is that one recommended to?
Okay, so that's sort of what Hotford and Hootsuite does. So you can create something and it will go everywhere, or you can create a specific for each platform. I don't like the whole spammy thing. The reason from a design point of view, is every screen's different, and I don't think they've figured it out yet.
Right.
So it will look maybe a little bit cut off. So if you have words on your post, it might actually get cut off when it goes to Instagram, or it might not even be shown on Twitter. So if you post something from Instagram, because Instagram has the option to share with your Facebook, with your Twitter, so you create a post and then you can share it. But often when you send it to Facebook or when you send it to Instagram, Facebook's better now because they're owned. But Twitter won't actually show the image. And I'm like, that's the whole entire reason. So it's just this horrible link. And I didn't realise until because I never go into Twitter. And I was in my Twitter, I'm like, all these horrible links with no images. So yeah, I'll stop doing that. I've learned my
It's
lesson.
important to consider who's on the different ones. So the people who you might be targeting on Facebook are different to the people you're targeting on Twitter. So therefore, you have to message it accordingly. Maybe even have a different image, certainly a different message, a different length. You know, all of those things. Some have hashtags, others don't. If you do want to tag someone in it to get their attention, that doesn't translate from one platform to another as well. But just the other thing, and I'll just raise it now, I mean, video is something that is becoming much, much more popular, and native video is really important. And if you're on Facebook, if you do a Facebook Live, that's going to get more traction than a video that you've recorded and posted. That's going to get more traction though than if you put it on YouTube and share the link. So you actually need to post it to YouTube and post not necessarily a different video. It can be the same video, but preferably slightly different length videos are better to Facebook natively. And then obviously Facebook Live outranks that again.
Yeah. So really understand where your target is and it just looks good. Like I know it seems against not to just be flooding everywhere, but if you can just focus because we're just limited time. I know, Joy disagrees. Joy wants to be on one.
No, I want to be on one, but we need to be on one.
Yeah. So starting with one and moving to two and then obviously expanding from there.
So I have different links on each one. So LinkedIn and me, you're going to post marketing podcast stuff. On Facebook.
But you're also hitting your
podcast.
target customer there as well, aren't you?
Yes, so I also have consulting services on which I haven't quite. So it's more podcast, but then it will be building up that, and then I'll do the consulting stuff. Facebook is purely the podcasts, but we don't spend a lot of time on that element stuff. Then I have Twitter, which we post quotes from the podcast and links to the podcast because a lot of people from the podcast are on Twitter, so YouTube news as well.
Yeah,
you should do the transcribing. So then people that can't hear can also listen.
That's amazing. Yeah. So you're starting. You're getting that. Yeah, you're getting that team around you to help support you with that.
Yeah. So you need. Yeah, that's the other thing. If I didn't have Ellen, I'd probably just do LinkedIn. That's it. And her website, because otherwise it's too hard to engage. Like you can post stuff, but
Any other questions? Or any? Do you want me to you tell me what you do and I'll blurt out where you should be, like a vending machine? Yeah.
I think what you said, you've got obviously different.
Facebook's more.
Yeah, I need
Your demographics there.
there are a few of those for my good stuff, but I need to be on Snapchat for the cheaper stuff. Really don't I?
Or Insta?
It depends on who's buying it. Yeah, Instagram.
Like a lot, okay, this ring if I sold, $100. But I do a lot of what I will be starting to do because it's back in a lot of rings under $20.
Yeah. So I think your demographics,
Snapchat, doesn't it?
but your demographics also on Instagram. So they're on Instagram and Snapchat. So they're So I think your targets are both the older and the younger. So Instagram.
Yeah. But, like last weekend, I was at Lost Trains and I was there before I
They
went.
look so busy.
so busy.
Oh, we didn't go in because it was choppers.
Shoppers.
Choppers.
The mum, our marketing blew away. I spent about an hour. I'm not sure whether I was holding the pole up or keeping it from down. I wasn't sure what I was doing. I was hanging on for dear life.
Did you have range early on?
Our marketing blew away the night before, in the middle of the night, security and the organisers.
Brilliant, thank you. It's so good to see
And
you.
the people came, and the people came, and the people came. I just could not believe it.
We went on.
It was quiet.
It was, well,
Sorry, it was quiet.
Oh, wow.